others are fast-moving.
Unlike other big rallies,
But earlier at about 7 a.m., a group from the Coast Guard.
Welcome to #PHVote 2013.
Today on Rappler, the Philippines and the U.S. conclude talks allowing increased U.S. presence in the islands. The next stop, President Aquino. An Abu Sayyaf attack in Basilan leaves at least 20 soldiers wounded. And Australia's Tony Abbott is confident signals detected in the Indian Ocean are from black boxes of missing plane flight 370.
Hello, I'm Natasha Gutierrez sitting in for Maria Ressa. Welcome to Rappler, your social news network. Negotiations between the U.S. and the Philippines for increased troop presence end after the 8th round of talks Friday. Panel Chair Defense Undersecretary Pio Lorenzo Batino says the draft will be submitted to the President for his review. He says the Philippines is ready for a heightened level of defense cooperation. The Enhanced Defense Cooperation, or EDC, will allow the increased presence of American troops in the Philippines. Troops will gain more access and permission to build facilities inside the bases. Philippine Ambassador to the U.S. Jose Cuisha says, quote, "This agreement will enable us to build a minimum credible defense posture. It's not just training, but hopefully we can get more equipment in the future." Talks began in August 2012 upon the request of the Philippines, which is counting on U.S. help to respond to growing tension in the West Philippine Sea or South China Sea. Critics say the deal would allow, quote, "de facto American bases in the Philippines." But the panels maintain it is a temporary agreement effective for less than 20 years. In 1991, the Philippine Senate rejected a treaty that would have extended the stay of American troops in the country, shutting down key U.S. bases in Clark and Subic. U.S. President Barack Obama will visit the Philippines on April 28 for an overnight trip. Obama will leave the Philippines on April 29 after meeting with President Benigno Aquino. Ambassador Cuisha says he will not come with First Lady Michelle Obama. In a TV interview, Philippine Cabinet Secretary Rene Almendra says Aquino and Obama will discuss a range of bilateral issues. Almendra says the two leaders will not limit their talks to the proposed agreement on increased presence of U.S. troops and equipment in the Philippines. The White House says Obama's meeting with Aquino will highlight the economic ties and security cooperation between the two countries, including the modernization of its defense alliance. An update on the kidnapping of a Chinese and a Filipina in Sabah last April 2. Malaysian Home Minister Zahid Hamidi says the kidnappers of Chinese Gao Huayun demand more than $11 million or almost 500 million pesos in ransom. Gao Huayun was kidnapped by gunmen on April 2 along with Filipino resort worker Marcy Dayawan. The Gao family is negotiating with abductors through an intermediary. Hamidi says the kidnappers asked for 36.4 million ringgit, which is roughly equivalent to $11.25 million. The area of eastern Sabah is famed for its resorts, but also notorious for lawlessness and kidnappings. Earlier, the Philippine military said members of militant group Abu Sayyaf are the top suspects. At least 20 soldiers are wounded in an attack by the Abu Sayyaf group, or ASG, in Tipo-Tipo, Basilan on Friday. In a TV interview, Philippine military spokesman Ramon Zagala says the military already deployed naval and air forces to assist soldiers in the area. Zagala recounts soldiers were deployed to the area following information ASG leader Furiji Indama was there. ASG members were said to be occupying school buildings and reportedly extorting from people in the area. The military operation against the ASG was launched in response to the recent extortion and kidnapping incidents. Commuter group Riles calls for the resignation of Metro Rail Transit 3 General Manager Al Vitangcol during a rally at the MRT depot Thursday. Protesters say the least Vitangcol could do is resign voluntarily. They add the MRT is inefficient and mismanaged. Among the MRT's long list of problems, long lines of commuters waiting to board every day, overloaded coaches, technical glitches, and breakdowns. Vitangcol is also accused of attempting to extort $30 million from Czech firm Inicon in exchange for ensuring a contract to supply cars for the MRT. Vitangcol denies the allegations and says he will not resign. In a TV interview, Vitangcol says, quote, "If I resign at this time, it might be construed as an admission of guilt. Once I'm cleared by all investigating bodies, I will resign voluntarily. Vitangcol says new trains are set to be delivered beginning February 2015. Australian Prime Minister Tony Abbott says he is very confident signals detected in the Indian Ocean are from the black box of the Malaysia Airlines flight MH370. Australia has taken the lead in the search since it moved to the Indian Ocean. Searchers detected 4 signals or pings from the aircraft beacons so far. The first 2 pings were picked up by Australian vessel Ocean Shield using U.S. equipment. The signal is said to be consistent with signals from black boxes. Abbott says the search area has been narrowed down due to the consistency of the signals. Searchers are racing against time. The signals will soon fade as the beacons lose battery power. We are hoping to get as much information as we can before the signal finally expires. The plane went missing March 8 en route from Kuala Lumpur to Beijing. Let's now look at Rappler's Wrap for today, a list of the 10 most important events around the world you shouldn't miss. At number 1, Russian President Vladimir Putin warns leaders of 18 European countries Russia could cut gas supplies to Ukraine. Half of its gas transit to the EU goes through Ukraine. Putin says if Ukraine fails to settle its 1.6 billion euro energy bill, natural gas giant Gazprom will be compelled to switch over to advance payment for gas deliveries, and in the event of further violation of the conditions of payment, will completely or partially cease gas deliveries. He also suggests Moscow and Brussels should work together to help restore the ex-Soviet country's battered economy. At number 9, 2 researchers discovered in separate studies an overzealous Facebook app might be draining your iPhone battery. Ex-Apple employee Scott Loveless and iOS app developer Sebastian Duval arrived at similar conclusions about draining iOS batteries. The culprits? Location services and background app refresh. iPhone users may opt to turn off both via settings. And at number 10, Filipino boxing champ Manny Pacquiao says he is ready to prove himself on Sunday Philippine time when he faces WBO welterweight title holder Timothy Bradley. The upcoming fight is crucial for Pacquiao after losing to Bradley in a controversial decision in 2012.
This fight is very important to me and to my boxing career. Of course, my opponent also is claiming that this fight is also very important, so it's going to be a very, very good fight on Saturday, so don't miss it.
For the full top 10, visit Rappler.com's The Wrap. Performer Gary Valenciano celebrates 3 decades in showbiz through an anniversary concert. G. Tanji reports.
Legendary Philippine recording artist Gary Valenciano celebrates his 30th year in the industry. Known as Mr. Pure Energy, Gary V prepares for his concert this weekend at the Araneta Coliseum. Gary V co-directs the concert, called Arise, with his eldest son, Paulo Valenciano. Paulo says the pressure to make this concert better than the last one is nerve-wracking.
I've been directing concerts before, but this is the most attention I've gotten as a director, so there's a lot of pressure. How do I watch a Gary V show and see everything fresh? Like, how do I present everything fresh to myself?
In 1984, Gary V held his first major sold-out concert at the Araneta Coliseum. Coming back to the venue exactly 30 years later is nostalgic, especially for Gary's wife, who also manages his career. Angeli Valenciano says Gary's excellence comes from hard work and from being a man of faith.
Well, Gary V's lasting power, I think, is a power that we don't see. It's a power that comes from above. It's really the Lord that has, I believe, sustained him.
I'm feeling relaxed because I'm working with the team that God has put together.
Gary Valenciano says the concert is his way of giving back. Proceeds of Arise go to the victims of the recent typhoon Haiyan.
I can guarantee people that if they come to the concert and they donate in any way, no matter how much or how little, when you see people rebuilding in Tacloban and you know that you played a part in that, it's the inspiration. That's one reason. The second is, I just want to celebrate, and I want people to come and join me celebrate. And I want to enjoy celebrating music. 30 years of being in an industry that's very fickle-minded. You know, you're here today and gone tomorrow. they've supported me all of these years. So this is my
There's
way of saying
only one Gary V, spanning 3 decades as an artist to evolve into one of the most enduring icons of Philippine showbiz.
Thank you so very much.
As he
And
wows
of course
his
to the
audience
guests,
with his
the,
gift of song and dance, he inspires them to share in a concert of renewal and hope. Gitanji, Rappler, Manila.
Arise has one last show tomorrow, April 12th at the Araneta Coliseum. For our social media post of the day, in June there's Father's Day, in May Mother's Day, in April there's National Siblings Day. The hashtag National Siblings Day trended all over social media, while some netizens took to sharing photos of their siblings. Professor Snape's parody Twitter account scoffs at the Weasleys of Harry Potter fame, while Game of Thrones fans post a photo of the Starks. Every story on Rappler has a mood meter, which gives you 8 emotions to choose from. Click how you feel, and your vote comes down to the mood navigator in the middle of the front page, which crowdsources the mood of the day. It also gives you the top 10 stories with the most clicks. Let's check out today's mood navigator. Okay, we see one prominent color in the mood navigator today. Let's look over here to the right, the only gray circle. Mark the date, Archie to die July 2014. That, of course, refers to the comic character. This story has 83% of readers feeling sad and 6% are happy. Over to the left, let's check out this green circle. DOJ dismisses Denise Cornejo rape complaint versus Vong Navarro. That was a big story yesterday. This story has 90% of readers feeling happy, while 5% say they're angry. And right smack in the middle, the biggest circle of all, big green circle right here, U.S. grants Philippines aviation upgrade. This has 95% of people feeling happy, and 3% say they're amused. All these stories, of course, contribute to the mood of the day. Today, most people are happy. That's Rappler's newscast for today, Friday, April 11, 2014. Visit Rappler.com and watch our newscast Monday to Friday. Tell us how you feel in our mood meter and help us crowdsource the mood of the day. I'm Natasha Gutierrez. As we say at Rappler, tomorrow begins today.